What's going on, Wolves? I'm here with Miss Hubbard in the Counseling Center to ask her a couple questions about how she can help all you guys watching. Miss Hubbard, what do you do here?
Well, school counselors do individual student planning. We do mental health support. We can get you help with resources and referrals. We do a little bit of schedule changing, but really we are your advocates here in the school.
How can they contact you?
So you can contact all of your counselors by visiting the counselor webpage on our website. There is a Calendly account attached to each of our names, and you can schedule with us there. You can also schedule with us via the QR codes that are all around the school, or check in with Miss Barry at the front desk.
All right. Do you have any shout-outs?
Shout outs. Have you guys met my other school counselor counterparts? They're awesome. So shout out to Mr. Peterson and Mr. Todd Franklin.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Hey Fact TV, today we are filming a life hack. This is gonna get you guys where you need to go faster. Let's get to it. Find yourself a mouse with a USB port, okay? Second, you're gonna find the USB port on your car, just like this. You're just gonna slide that in there, first try, look at that. Okay, now you're all connected, okay? So if you just do a little back scrolling on your mouse, as you will see, the car just starts levitating in the air. Quite magical. Okay? Alright chat, if you start doing some forward scrolling, as you can see, we come back down. Now, this you can just use to fly around, you know? Get yourself from point A to point B, skip all the traffic. Best way to get out of school. Alright Pack TV, as you can see, we are back on ground level. I need you to stay tuned for your next life hack.
Hey, what's going on, Wolves? I'm Aaron Hauk. I'm the teacher of video production, and I'm also the advisor for the show you're watching right now, Pack TV, the student broadcast of Black Hills High School. And, I decided that I was going to do the interview today for two reasons. First, this is going to be a good teaching example, but also because it's fun, and why do students get to have all the fun time? So I thought I'd step in here and take my turn. So with me today is freshman Maddie Knight, and then next is Mason Burke, junior, and sophomore Avery Reynolds, and junior again, Jameson Ruiz. And so all four of you are members of the cross-country team, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. And so while we're doing introductions, I see you found our new Pack TV mascot.
Yes.
The Pack TV mascot doesn't have a name yet. So let's start with the basics. Boy, girl, or gender neutral?
Alpha Wolf.
Alpha Wolf. All right, so we need a name for our mascot.
Alpha.
Alpha. All right. So we'll figure that out. But I'm kind of liking Alpha. That's
too.
not too bad. That's not too bad.
I'm kind of liking it too. Widowy.
All right. So tell me a little bit about cross country. So Jameson, if I go to a cross country meet, or you go to a cross country meet, obviously you're running, but how far do you run? Where do you run? What kind of terrain do you run on?
We run through forests, along lakes. There's a bunch of different stuff in courses. Last year we had a course with a mud pit. Usually I ran yesterday, I think 7.5 miles total, about just warming up, cooling down, running around the course, helping set up, all that, plus the actual race. So.
Okay.
The actual race is a 5K.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
3.1 miles.
3.1 miles, 5K. So that's the actual race. All right. So you said mud puddle.
Yes.
So do you have to jump the mud puddle? Do you have to trudge through the mud puddle? How does that work?
Last year when we ran at Seaside, we had to just trudge through it. Some people had mud on their face. Some years it gets bad.
That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, if I were to go running, I would actually want to kind of jog up in the mountains. So a mud run, that might be right up my alley. And kids play all these sports, but when you're done with high school, football's kind of done. Mm-hmm. Basketball, maybe a few pickup games, but that's kind of over. Running, people run well into their 80s and 90s. So curious, do you think you'll keep running after high school?
Probably.
All right.
To stay in shape.
All right. Avery, how about you? Is running in your future forever and ever?
Probably.
Right on.
I want to run a lot of things like Ironmans and do a bunch of 5Ks well into old age.
Okay. Excellent. How about the two of you? Mason, what do you think?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think one of the most fun parts about it is that the people that you can do it with. You can do it while talking, having fun, experiencing new things, and I think that's one of my favorite things about it.
All right. So Maddie, new member to the team. What are your thoughts so far?
It's great.
Okay.
Everyone's really welcoming and supportive.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm really glad I did it.
All right. Okay, so one of the things that I think is really important is legacy. And so this is kind of specifically for Mason and Jameson here. But when you were freshmen, was there somebody that you looked up to on the team that really kind of set the tone, made you enjoy it more, gave you a role model to look up to?
Yes, there was. His name. Last year was my first year on the team, so I was a sophomore, and he was a senior. His name is Truman Wimzet.
All right.
I don't know if people know him, but he is the definition of hard worker. He's awesome at everything he does, and he just tries his absolute hardest.
Yep,
Sometimes
and he is now at the Air Force Academy.
Yes,
So
he is.
Mr. Wimstead, I'm sure, is a very proud dad. And I got a quick update yesterday, so Truman is doing well. All right, Mason.
Yeah, I agree. I think Truman was a great influence, but for me personally, I really love our coach, Norm. He's just great. He's always supportive. He's just a great guy, always encouraging, always helping us to be the best that we can possibly be.
Okay, I got to call timeout here. Norm, I thought Mr. Sinclair was your coach.
There's two coaches, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about Norm, because I don't know who that is.
He's Norm. I mean, he's just a great guy, you know?
All right.
Norm is the best.
Yeah,
he's a pretty
just
funny,
Norm.
pretty
All right.
person.
Yeah.
You get to talking with him one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always encouraging, but also like pushes you to be your best. He's just a very great coach.
That's great to hear, because
Yeah.
that's so important. I still remember my football coach from high school.
Yeah.
All right, so Avery, how about you? Is there somebody that you still look up to or did look up to last year?
Melody Hackworth. Is that how I pronounce her last name?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely correct.
She is so sweet. We love Melody.
Okay, wait, she's on the team right now, right?
She's currently,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
She was a big supporter for me last year,
Oh, that's
and
good.
I know that personally, this is a really hard sport. And you can be really tough on yourself, but she is always there. I love Melody, and she's like an older sister.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's so important in a team. Even though it's an individual sport, you're still a team.
Right.
All right, Maddie, how about you?
Well, I'd just say Avery, honestly.
Okay.
Hey.
Look at that. Avery, you're already leaving a legacy. All right. Okay, so kind of going back down the line. So knowing that there's somebody that you've looked up to, what shout outs or advice do you have for freshmen or maybe even upcoming 8th graders that what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want them to learn from you?
I think really just give it your all. It doesn't have to be, don't compare yourself to anyone else. It's all about just the best that you can personally do, I think.
Yeah, work hard and put in the effort.
Yeah.
It's all about the mental game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, mental game. Tell me more about that. What does that mean?
You just gotta, part of running is, you have to try to run fast, but also just telling yourself that you're able to do that. Like when I raced yesterday, 2 words were going through my head the entire 3 miles. It was never settle. Never ease into a pace, just keep on trying to push until you get to the end, because after you get to the end and you do a good time, then you feel awesome. Instead of, I'd rather hit the finish line feeling like I did everything I could than falling back and saying I could have done better.
Yeah.
That's powerful right there.
I think that's a really good way to put it. I always say light work when I'm running. Even though it's such a hard sport, it's a really difficult one and everyone knows it. But if you're telling yourself, hey, I've ran 7 miles in the past, I can do this, I'm just going a little faster. It's just a mental game.
Okay. All right. So, Maddie, any words of advice for the middle schoolers? They probably won't see this, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
Keep running.
All right. I think some of those words of advice right there, man, we could just cut right there and wrap it up. That's mic drop right there. But before we do, what do you hope to achieve this year? And it doesn't have to be cross country. It could just be anything. You're a junior this year. What do you want to achieve personally in your time at Black Hills right now?
Academically, I'd like to get all A's again and then pass all my AP tests. And then cross country wise, I think my long shot goal is to beat 20 minutes to break 20. But I think going into the season, my goal was to break 21 minutes, so run a 20XX for my time.
I want to run sub 22 by the end of senior year, and I want to get 12 varsity letters by the end of high
Okay,
school.
that's a heck of a goal. I hope you get that.
Thank you.
I think my personal goal this year is just to make sure that everyone at Black Hills knows that they're welcome at this school and that they belong here, whether that's in a sport, a club, an instrument, whatever they're doing. Even if it's just school itself, I want them to walk in every day knowing that they are Wolf and that they're part of the pack.
Man, that's mic drop right there. Thank you, Mason. Appreciate
of
that.
course.
Maddie, how about you? What do you want to accomplish freshman year?
I just want to maintain a 4.0
Okay.
and hopefully go to state at some point in the next couple of years.
All right. Those are fantastic goals. Well, hey, Wolves, I've got some, these have been fantastic guests, and I hope you say hi to them when you see them in the halls. And hey, guys, thank you so much for coming in. It's been a real pleasure having you in here today. Stay tuned. We got more to come on Pack TV.
Toodles!
Thank you.
Hey Wolves, we're here to talk with you today about a tough topic, but it's one we feel is very important to discuss. September is National Suicide Prevention Month in the U.S. The National Alliance on Mental Health Illness made this designation in 2008 to help destigmatize conversations about suicide and to communicate vital information, as well as spread hope to those affected by it. This year's theme is Creating Hope Through Action.
So today we're going to walk through a 3-step action plan to create hope for people considering suicide. The first step we're going to talk about is C. Recognizing someone struggling and possibly considering suicide is the first step to getting help for them.
So to start off, we're going to address some statistics about suicide. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 14 and 25 to 34. American Indian and Alaskan Native and non-Hispanic white populations have the highest suicide rates. LGBTQ young people have a higher rate of suicide behavior and ideation than their straight peers. In 2022, 13.2 million American adults thought seriously about suicide, and 1.6 million attempted it.
Our hope is that by hearing this, addressing and recognizing someone in need will become a larger priority and a much more serious action.
We also want you to be aware of the triggers that can induce suicidal thoughts. These can include guilt, shame, a sense of worthlessness, social isolation or loneliness, serious health concerns, hopelessness for the future, and severe mental health symptoms, such as depression, post-traumatic stress, or psychosis. A person with depression is 20 times more likely to die by suicide than someone without the disorder. By recognizing this, our hope is that support for those with depression will increase as well, and will be taken more seriously by those who have someone in their life with depression.
It is important to watch for symptoms of depression as well. Our last action in the C point is this. Don't be afraid to ask a person if they are having suicidal thoughts. This opens a line of communication between you, and knowing they can discuss thoughts with you, the person may be able to take a step forward towards assistance. This leads us to our next point, support.
Supporting someone with suicidal thoughts can look like many different things, but it ultimately comes down to making sure they know they are loved, that there is someone there for them, and that they can ask for help.
We want to emphasize that if you see or hear someone contemplating suicide, you should tell a trusted adult immediately. They can help the person in ways you might not, and it's important for them to be aware so they can keep that person safe. Part of supporting them is making sure others can support them too.
Here are some things you can do when you're with someone considering suicide. Make sure they know that you are there for them and invite them to confide in you, remaining calm and non-judgmental. Avoid saying accusatory things that will make it seem like something is wrong with them or their feelings are unreasonable. Try not to dominate the conversation and compare smaller problems to their own, especially because their life is far more important.
Instead, try to support routines in their lives, attending and remaining consistent in therapy or even meetings with a mental health professional. You should also encourage spending time with family and friends. Listening to music or journaling is another good thing to suggest. It can be relaxing and helpful to straighten out thoughts and feelings.
Now we'll move on to our final point and address some assumptions people dealing with the death of a loved one who committed suicide believe. These are severe stereotypes, and we want you to be aware of these, so your attitude while dealing with someone considering suicide is appropriate and helpful. One of these assumptions is that they wanted attention, but the reality is that they could no longer live with the emotional and or physical pain they feel. Other assumptions include that they were weak, they never tried to get help, or they didn't consider how their death would affect others.
However, these people may have lived with excessive challenges and hoped for improvements, waiting for as long as they could, and suicide is their last resort when other efforts have failed. Many people who consider suicide hang on because they do not want to hurt their loved ones, but they may think if they die, the burdens of those caring for them will be eased.
I know that was a long spiel, but it's very important to our community, and we wish you well as you go throughout your day. If you'd like further resources, please see the links below this video, or set up a meeting with your counselor. They're always there for you, even if you just need to talk.
What's going on, Wolves? Today we're going to be going around the school asking some of your teachers and some of your fellow students what one of their hot takes are. Let's get into it. Mr. Hicks, what is one of your hot topics?
One of my hot topics, I have a lot of brothers and sisters. I'm the favorite brother. Most of my brothers and sisters would disagree with that, but they know I'm the favorite brother.
Jameson, what is one of your hot takes?
Dan Wilson is not an improvement from Scott Service.
Lawrence, what is one of your hot takes?
That Mexican food is the best kind of food and should be eaten at every meal.
Max, what is one of your hot takes?
Cheesecake is terrible. Cheesecake is not good. It might be the worst dessert out there. That's like one of them. It's not good at all. Hate cheesecake.
Mr. Glenn, what is one of your hot takes?
Kung Fu is better than karate.
Mr. Anderson, what is one of your hot takes?
I don't like it, but hot take, LeBron is better than Jordan. You gotta ask, how'd the Bulls do after Jordan left? Pippen took him to the show. They were fine. How'd the Cavs do after LeBron left? LeBron is the difference maker.
Thank you, Wolves, for sharing your hot takes.